Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button. Also, click on the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me live, just like our Tiny Acres, Christy and Shy and Carrie, all checking in here saying hello today. I go live most weekdays at 4 p.m. Central. If you want to get in touch with me outside of the live stream or share anything outside of the live stream, I created a Discord. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also down in the description below, there is a link to a Pinterest board. We created that because a lot of times people ask us what kind of meals we are eating on our diet. And so that's a great place to see what we're eating and different recipes on our whole food plant-based diet. Let's see here. Today is day 668 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based diet to lose over 200 pounds so far. Today is also day 1 of my reset. I've been floundering for the past 11 months, so I have recommitted to going back to the diet that worked, or the going back to the diet and hopefully seeing the success that I was having again. A couple more people checking in. Pretty Girl's mom, just me, says, hey everyone, I can't believe I caught this early. I'm always late. Well, I'm glad you caught us today. Rick saying hi, hope you're doing good. Yes, I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share or any on-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear those as well. Any questions about dieting, or if you're having struggles getting started, maybe share with us what's keeping you from getting started, what's keeping you from staying on track. And a thing that I keep kind of having to remind myself is, what things are you going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Jane says they did a reset last Sunday. That's great, Jane. I hope everything's going well since you've done the reset or started the reset here. I am going to switch over to the main page. Oh, this is up. Where's that at? Okay. So yes, I've been talking about getting back into the diet and being very strict with it again. I've allowed too many temptations and too many bad choices to occur over the past 11 months, and it has really stalled my weight loss. I had gone back and looked at a video from about 11 months ago when I kind of first started allowing foods that were more processed, or especially the salt, the oil, and the sugar in. And at the time, I was right around the same weight I am now. I was at about 320 pounds a year ago, or not a year ago, 11 months ago. And it's really right now getting to the point where I haven't lost really any weight in the past, like I said, almost year. It's become frustrating, and I need to get back into the diet. I am going to eat a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet like I was doing when I first started this. There's some foods that I haven't made a decision exactly what I'm going to do with, because they were foods that I ate when I started this diet, that uh, I have to find a replacement for the calories, I suppose. And the big thing is like the nut butters. When I first started this, I was eating a lot of Ezekiel bread with Crazy Richard's peanut butter on it. It's just no, it's just peanuts in it. There's no other ingredients. And I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one other thing, but that's really the big one that was a crutch for me starting, that I will need to find a replacement for. But and then also something that I've talked about too is that there's a lot more variety in my diet now, so I tend to, I feel like, eat more when I do eat. So I have to kind of make sure that the new foods that we've introduced do not have a lot of high calorie dense components to them. One of the foods I'm thinking about off the top of my head is tahini. It's very popular in our diet with a lot of our recipes, and just going without that. But I've also, been, not, I don't have my phone on me to show, but I don't mind it. I'm not afraid to go back to a much simpler diet. The thumbnail for this video says going back to scratch, and that's more of a play on the going back to scratch cooking, or going back to a to where we're not having foods that are already prepared or have a lot of processing to them. So to get started on this reset, I'm going to go ahead and hop on the scale here. Let me switch over to this. I don't know if the screen thing is still, let me see. I'll do that, and then we'll see how long it takes before a foot. Okay, so it's pretty close. So I'm going to get on the scale here. A quick recap. On November 1st, 2020, I started this channel, and I had a weight of 519.8 pounds. I'm going to kind of move this way, see if it, the 519.8 pounds over the course of the last 22 months. I have been eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. The first 11 months of the past 22 months, I was very strict with the diet. And then the past 11 months has not been so great, but I'm going to hop on the scale today, see what my weight is at now. This is going to be a reset for me as far as the diet goes. I need to start putting together successful days of dieting, and this is going to be day one here. So let me get on here. Anthony's checking in saying, hey, hi Anthony. I hope you're having a great day. Let's get on the scale, see what it says. Not looking forward to it. $319.4 pounds. So that is puts my total weight loss today of at 200.4 pounds, which is really actually pretty awesome still over the course of the last 22 months. I could probably hit a better button than that. Sorry, guys. I just want to update. My current weight is 319.4. So let's hit done here. We'll go to the here. Just do this. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm just trying to get a few things cleaned up on the desktop here. All right. So our 10 acres is awesome. Yes. I'm disappointed that I've gained weight over the past month. Gained quite a bit of weight over the past month. I feel like a lot of that weight gain is through fluid retention and inflammation, especially around my ankles and legs. And I'm hoping that by getting back into the diet and being strict with my strict with what I put in my mouth or allow into my diet, that I will lose hopefully a good amount of weight here early on in the diet and get back down to that 300 quickly. That's kind of 300 is a really tough weight mentally for me. It's really been the struggle of my whole adult life to get under 300 pounds when it comes to weight issues or, weight loss. I feel, that from, the time that I was in high school, when I was very active, I can remember at the time I was wrestling and thinking to myself that, I'm never going to allow myself to get over 300 pounds. And that, once I saw 300 pounds, I'd do everything I have to do to keep myself under 300 pounds. And this was a thing I can very much remember thinking middle of my senior year of high school, when I was winding down with my athletics. I played football and wrestled. And when the wrestling season was getting over, I knew that those sports were some of the reason why my weight wasn't higher than 275 is probably what I weighed at the time. And so, I can remember thinking, I don't ever want to get over 300 pounds. I'll do whatever I can to stay under 300 pounds. And then by the time I graduated high school, I was over 300 pounds. It was a fleeting thought that I would keep myself under 300 pounds. And then throughout college, it was a constant goal to get back down under 300 pounds. I fluctuated between 320 and 380 or 400 pounds, probably 380 throughout my 20s and early, mid 20s while I was in college. And then, I had a couple diets throughout the last 15 years where I was able to lose a good amount of weight and kind of get down to that 300 pound mark. There's two diets in particular I can think of. In 2009, I got down to a point where I saw on the scale 299.8 pounds. And that was the last moment I was under 300 pounds when, at that time. And then in 2013, I got a good way under 300 for me. I got down to like 285. I got like 15 pounds under, but it was on an extremely restrictive diet with almost no food. And I was on medication that was suppressing my appetite. So once I quit taking that medication and was eating for me, what was a normal amount of food, that was not a very long-lived time either that I was under 300. So that's really kind of what's also been frustrating to me too, is that I'm still struggling with that 300. I've now weighed in a couple times under 300 pounds since in this past 3 or 4 months, or since my birthday. I was under 300 pounds at the beginning of May, so that puts it about 4 months ago that I've been floating between 300 and 320 pounds. And I'm very dedicated to get back down to that. And I need for my new struggle weight to be like 240. And so I just need to blow through the 300 and get down to my goal weight. But it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating that I'm struggling at this weight, but I think that a lot of it comes down to a few different factors, I suppose. You know, a big part of it is that I create a behavioral equilibrium here, that I'm eating calories that are keeping me at this weight. There's so much to it. But one of the things I guess that's coming to my mind is that, gosh, and then it's escaping my mind as I'm talking about it. The mental, oh my gosh, guys. I can't even think of what I was talking about. Struggle of getting under 300, get down to 2. I don't know. God damn. I don't know. And the more I'm trying to think about it, the further away I think I'm getting from where I was actually going with my point there. But I need to get back on diet, or I am back on diet. I mean, the food that I've had has been good. I took a couple photos here of breakfast I didn't share, but we just had our regular breakfast this morning, and then for dinner last night, I'm actually probably gonna have it tonight again, is just potatoes and broccoli with no sauce at all. Like and I was surprised at how I didn't really need any sauce last night with it, so I'm looking to do that again today. Yeah, you know, it's just starting again, I suppose, but you know, I'm not really worried about it. Our Tiny Acre says that they have to go strict again, and losing again, your gout quit acting. Oh, that sucks. You told yourself you were never going to get over 300 again the first time you went under, and back over twice since then. Yes, it's I was talking about, yeah, I remember what I was talking about now. I was talking about behavioral equilibrium, and then I was going to talk about that it's this weird spot I'm in psychologically, in that I'm in such better condition than I was 22 months ago. Like, and so it makes it harder to convince yourself to stay dedicated, because things are so much easier, and it seems like the danger is further away, and it's really not. It's a constant danger, and you know, the myth of moderation really comes into play, that you start to let yourself say, you know, well, if I only have a little bit of that, or if I make up for a little bit of that by doing this, or, you know, that's, you know, that made me feel that way, but that was when I was 200 pounds heavier. Carrie says, I ate work at breakfast. It was extra fancy. It was. We had oatmeal at breakfast today. It was good. But yeah, I think that there's kind of a lot to, you know, just how much better you feel, even if you're not all the way to your goal, and how you let that cloud your judgment for making the right decisions going forward, or in the moment. And again, I harped on it a lot yesterday, and I'm definitely realizing that I have to be much more present with my diet. I have to be thinking in terms of what is happening right now, because I can't hold my future self accountable to make the right decision that I'm putting on him when I make the decision to put off eating something healthy. And so I guess I hope that flowed how I said that. I don't feel like it came out great, but I definitely realize that I either reward myself for past accomplishments. So I give myself a prize now for something that the previous version of me did right. And that kind of takes away from the previous version of me doing right, because if I'm just going to reward myself anyways, then there was no point in making the right decision, the day before or for the week before. And then also the pushing of the responsibility to get back on track onto my future self. And then that future self never showing up. And I'm showing up now. My future self has showed up and is doing everything that my past self has been telling me to do for the past 2 months, past 4 months. And that's a big part of this. That it's when I sit down to eat now, or when I take the food from my mouth, from the table to my mouth, I have to be making the best decision in that moment and not the future. So, our Tiny Acre says that you make sure your prizes aren't food rewards. And at the time, like that's something where there's two different reward times though. So if I reward myself with a non-food item because I went a certain amount of time or I did something right, but that doesn't keep me from also double rewarding myself down the line and saying, and you forget that reward you gave yourself that was non-food. So I run into that, I suppose. Shai says that potatoes and broccoli with no sauce, that's dedication. So excited to see your results next Wednesday. I'm very excited too. I'm hoping that this first few pounds comes off very quickly. And then after that, it becomes a steady weight loss every month. Just Me says that we are in this together. You learned from the YouTuber Naturally Carly that once you hit your goal weight, you can't relax because your body fights like hell to regain your weight. You have to keep going whenever you've been doing for at least 6 months after. This goes from milestones to like your 299 mark. You're working to get off 15 pounds now after gaining back 24. Yeah, there's a lot that I've realized over the past 11 months. And one of the big realizations was that there isn't necessarily going to be a difference between my weight loss diet and my weight maintenance diet. I feel like the weight loss industry or the diet industry has harped this idea that you can eat a diet of like a starvation diet and lose the weight, or eat these diets that are not maintainable for long periods of time to lose the weight, and then you're kind of left with nowhere to go once you get to the goal weight if you don't eat better. And something I've said over the years is that I need to learn how to eat like somebody who weighs my goal weight. So I need to learn how to eat like somebody who's 220 pounds. If I could eat the same volume and calories as a regular person that's 220 pounds, then that's what I would weigh, but I don't know how to eat that volume or that calorie. I always eat a higher volume, a higher calorie diet. And a big part of that equation is calorie density. And so I need to focus on calorie density so that I'm able to eat that volume of food that I want to eat, but not put myself where I'm eating an excess of calories every day. And what that eating like somebody who's 220 pounds, what I thought that was being able to eat fast food once a week, or when I ate fast food, just ordering one value meal and not upsizing it, or having pizza at a party, but only having one slice of pizza. That's what my idea of what, somebody who weighs 220 pounds is. And there are a lot of people that weigh 220 pounds and that's what they eat. But they don't eat that every meal, or they don't, like like I said, it's the volume. I can't eat just one slice of pizza and then feel satisfied with one slice of pizza. So I need to find a way to eat a satisfying amount of food, but have the same calories that one slice of pizza has for the person that can eat one slice of pizza. So I have to eat 4 slices of pizza. So I need to eat 4 slices of pizza worth of volume, but I need to make the calories add up to one slice, because I can't stop myself from eating eating the foods, especially when they're high calorie. It's so difficult for me to do that. So those are just a few things that I've been thinking about with my upcoming diet, or with this diet now, and staying committed, staying in the moment, putting myself in a position where I'm not having to run into temptations, I guess, because where's it at? Right here. So, one of the things I've talked about over the last few weeks is me wanting to drink soda, or drinking more soda. And one of the reasons I feel like I've been drinking more soda is because that's what my mind goes to when I think of quenching my thirst. When I think, oh, I'm thirsty, then I go to, my mind goes to what is going to quench that thirst and also provide the greatest dopamine response. And when I was allowing myself to have soda, that's what my mind would think was soda. And so it would be difficult for me to think of a less attractive source of thirst quenching than that high dopamine response item. But something I harp on at the beginning of almost every podcast, not harp, but I bring up, is what are you going to do to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? And when I left to go to work this morning, one of the things that I made sure to do was to have a big jug of water. I got this big water jug here that I made sure I've had that with me all day today, so that I don't have a time where I'm driving from work to another spot and I think, hey, I'm thirsty. And then my mind starts having to fight that temptation to stop and get a soda at the gas station. The same is true with food too. You know, you need to have foods around you or access to those foods so that when you get hungry, you can go for the lower calorie dense foods versus the high calorie dense foods. You need to make sure you have an alternative that is better so that you have a way out, so you can, so you can get out. And if you can avoid the temptation to begin with, that's the best, but that's not always possible. Jennifer says this is really helpful, encouraging. Great. I'm glad. It's been, it's taken me a minute to convince myself to get back to here. I feel, I felt great all day too. Like I really have felt good today. Even though my weight's up. And I think it's just because the last couple days I have been, eating better, not perfect, but better. And maybe it's because I'm wearing a really big shirt too. Like this is one of the shirts I would have wore when I was close to my heaviest. So it might be, I'm kind of swimming in it. So it feels big on me too. Other new stuff is I am continuing to listen to the Walter Longo book, The Longevity Diet. He just kind of went through the fasting mimicking diet. And then right now, I think a lot of what they're talking about is cancer and the effect of nutrition and fasting mimicking diets on cancer. So it's kind of interesting to hear all of the studies that he's been doing or has done. And he makes some really good analogies. I do like the book a lot. The way he explains these different topics, but using kind of examples that you can understand. So I like that a lot. Pretty Girl's mom says, and you made a decision to change. Yes, I need to change. I needed to get back and get away from what I was doing. But the book is, it's interesting because it's this weird, he promotes what he calls the FMD. It's the fasting mimicking diet. And there is I don't know if it's a medication or if it's a drink or what, but there's a product called Prolon or something. Maybe I can look it up while I'm here. Walter Longo, Prolon. So it's this product called Prolon that he talks about, that you take this while you're doing his fasting mimicking diet. So it's kind of a weird thing, but he talks about how he doesn't make any money with it. I think it might be that the Prolon is like a diet program or pill program, or not pills, but like meals ready to eat, kind of not scratch cooking by any means, like I was talking about getting back to. There's a weird kind of with fasting that a lot of these doctors and groups, they talk about the benefits of fasting, and but they also warn against doing it on your own. And I understand why they warn against doing it on your own, but I think it's kind of an interesting so specifically, I guess, like with True North, I guess this is where they they don't recommend you do a fast at home, but they also say that fasting is a natural adaptation that humans have, that we can fast, that we have the ability to fast, and that we're able to fast for a very long time, much longer than we think we can fast. But they don't recommend you do it on your own. And I think that it's kind of a weird thing to say this is a natural part of your human body, but you shouldn't do it. Like it's, and then with this book, it's kind of the same way, where it's like, we were seeing all these incredible results by doing these fasting tests on these, on this yeast, or on the single-celled organisms. And then when they advance their testing to rats or mice, they're seeing all these amazing results from fasting. But don't do it without paying somebody to make sure you don't kill yourself. And I get it. Like I said, I get the concern, and that people can definitely take things to the extreme and do stupid, crazy things like fast for 42 days. I wouldn't. But at the same, to say it's part of the human physiology, and that it's a natural thing that our ancestors had to do, when our ancestors were fasting 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 80,000 years ago, they didn't have a physician monitoring their fast, making sure that they were doing okay. So, Shai says that they've been getting ads for water fasting resorts. I think it is becoming much more popular. I think that there are more places throughout the U.S. that are doing water fasting. There's definitely places outside of the U.S. that are doing water fasting. And I think people are seeing benefits from it. And it's really, like I said, listening to this book, the testing that they've done, there's great benefits. He's got a whole chapter dedicated to the positive effects of fasting and the treatment of cancer. But don't fast without buying our product, or don't fast without seeing a doctor. Like it's weird. But anyways, in the book, he talks about his fasting mimicking diet. Essentially it's going periods of 5 days where you eat a pretty low calorie diet. It's all about eating, complex carbohydrates, but eating, I think 1,100 calories was what he talked about for the first couple days, and then dropping it down below 1,000 calories for the last few days, and doing what he calls a fasting mimicking diet. I may kind of look into more of what his recommendations are, because this is just one book that he's written. I'm sure he's got other information out there, and I don't even know where this book falls in line with that. This could be the oldest information he's ever published, or it could be the newest. I don't know. But listening to this book, it's got me thinking about fasting again. I don't want to get into doing another extended fast like I did to start this channel, but doing shorter 1-day fasts or 3-day fasts, or even as much as 5 days. I may look at doing that over the course of the next few months as I'm trying to lose weight. Right now it's about getting the diet in check and be, eating right again. And then we'll go from there. So, trying to think if there's any other points from the book. I like the book. Like I said, I like what he's talking about. I love hearing these positive results from these people eating a better diet. But he does it's not a vegan diet that he promotes. It's a pescatarian diet. I think I'm curious again to see what his recommendations are now, if this is still what he recommends or if he's changed. Sometimes there's, because even with the diet he recommends, he says eat pescatarian, but to only have, fish 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. And so it's very light amount of protein from animal products in the overall diet. I mean, if you're looking at 10 meals, or I guess 14 meals a week, and only 2 or 3 of those even have a piece of them that have fish in them, it's very, it's plant heavy diet. But and I'm loving the plant-based diet. It's good. I really am just amazed at like I don't have any need or desire to eat any animal products. And I really, and who, I'm only 22 months into this. There's people that are 10 years or 20 years into being vegan or eating a diet without any animal products in it. But I don't know. I just think that if it was natural for us to eat meat, that I would crave it more. Like that there would be some inkling or craving of it. But there's not. So anyways, who knows? That's going to be, let's see. I'm really excited for the next 11 months. I kind of am looking at this as if breaking this up into 3 chunks of the diet here. I did 11 months on to start. I kind of let myself do an 11-month hiatus here. And now for the next 11 months, I need to do everything in my power to get down to my goal weight. If I can get to a point where I lose 9 pounds a month, that's going to get me right at that 100 pounds. And then I can maintain that weight for the last 2-3 months of this challenge, of the 3 years that, for this challenge. So I, have a good idea what I'm doing from here forward. And I'm very confident that I can get myself back to where I was. I went into this whole challenge without any plan, and I've gotten this far. So I think I can do the next 11 months, with, and I have a pretty good plan on what I'm going to do already, which is great. So I want to thank all of you guys for following along, being part of this weight loss with me. I appreciate all of the comments and, the live viewers here. You guys are all great. The people that check out the videos afterwards, I appreciate you as well. I get a lot of great comments. I get suggestions to go watch great videos that all help with this process. And if it wasn't for this accountability platform, I can guarantee that I would not be 200 pounds lighter today than I was 22 months ago. So I appreciate you guys greatly. Gene says, I think you've made some good choices to get yourself on your A game. Keep going. Yes, I really feel like I have all the information that I should need to succeed. If you look down in the description below, I don't even think I've put the latest book that I've read, but in the last 22 months, I have read twice as many books as I read in the previous 38 years of my life. So I feel like I've spent the last 22 months educating myself, giving myself, I'm getting an associate's degree in whole food plant-based dieting. And I can use the information that I've learned over these past 22 months and implement them to get to my goal. So, If you guys haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. Nobody gets to their goals and wishes they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. And live in the present, live now. And the choices that you're making right now, the putting that junk food in your mouth right now is the choice you're making. Don't put off the, don't put off being on your diet to your future self. Hold yourself accountable in the moment. So I am looking forward to the next 11 months, and I will talk to you guys. Our Tiny Acre says they've been looking at recipe books from plant-based doctors and chefs. There's a lot of great ones out there. Chef AJ's got a lot of great books. The Engine 2 cookbook, Plant Powered Families was one that we've taken a lot of recipes from. There's all kinds of great cookbooks out there. I know Well Your World has got some great recipes that we've stolen to or used. So you guys all have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Mm.